Javon Kinlaw. Report yesterday came out. 49ers do not have a plan to trade Javon Kinlaw. What did you take away from the report and on Javon Kinlaw's status?
My takeaway is that there are no significant offers for Javon Kinlaw.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the way I see it. But I'm not surprised. And it's, again, like, why would any team trade for Javon Kinlaw right now until they saw him on the field looking good? The last look they got at Javon Kinlaw was in the NFC Championship game. We saw those clips. It wasn't good. And that was 2 months ago. So people would need to see something, a preseason game, a joint practice, a practice report. They're going to need to see you, Rohan, at practice and then going live afterward and being like, Javon looks great. Until that happens, I don't think he has trade value. I mean, how could you – what GM would – I'm just going to trade for Javon Kinlaw blind.
So
no,
Grant,
I'm not going to do that.
You're going to get a call, huh, from John tomorrow? Yo, can you say Javon be looking good in these offseason workouts?
He's looking great. I mean, yeah, I don't think they can trade him now. Maybe in preseason they could trade him then. But what are you going to get for him? I feel like you have – it's better off just keeping him. It's a first-round pick.
Right. If
you ever get him healthy, now you have him as depth, or you could trade him for like a 7th-round pick swap. Like, come on. Like, what's the point?
And, I mean, right now, you're right. He has absolutely no trade value. And the other thing you take in mind, it's not like the 49ers are saving too much money. Like the 49ers saved $2 million or $2.2 million, I believe, if they trade him. It's not like they're saving the entirety of his salary.
2.2?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it might be valuable, but first of all, there's no.
But they could always restructure a contract and create $10 million. Like
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It just seems like you don't really gain much from trading. You don't get much of a pick. You don't get much cap space.
And all you do another team wants to pay $2.7 million a year.
So.
Yeah.
I don't think so. What they have to decide though is he one of their 53 best players? Like I don't think you can trade him.
That is the
I don't think there's market for him. But like he's the 6th defensive lineman on the team right now. Like you got let's just count him: Hargrave, Armstead, T.Y. McGill, Kalia Davis, and Kevin Givens. That's 5. So he's got to prove that he's better than one of those 5 guys. That's what he's got to do.
Yeah. And the 49ers normally, if let's say they roll with 10, they'll go with 5 and 5, right? They'll normally go 5 edge. And the edge rusher group is where they kind of need to improve in that they don't have too many numbers right now. It's Jackson. It's obviously Bosa, Cleveland Farrell, and then I guess Austin Bryant right now. So,
yeah, and they'll draft one more. That'll be 5. So that's your 10 right there. And Kinlaw's 11. And so now that's what he needs to prove. He needs to prove that he's a NFL player this year.
Yeah.
Because he's been hurt 2 years in a row. He's been hurt 2 years in a row. Yeah.
I think the 49ers are kind of approaching it right. You understand he has no trade value. There's no reason to cut him now because you're not going to save any money. Go into training camp. Let him compete. If he can prove something and kind of shock everybody right now with the talent that he's showcased on film, then you keep him. But if not, then at that point, I mean, you're going to cut him regardless.
You got to cut him. But look at it this way. The last 3 years, there's been a ton of pressure on him. He hasn't been 100% healthy, 100%. And they're like, dude, you're a starter. You're DeForest Buckner. We need you to play. And he's been gutting it out. Now it's like, hey, man, we don't need you at all. We're ready to cut you. So whatever you can prove, it's a whole different situation for him now. Like he's been counted out. There's no pressure. He can play whenever he's healthy. And if it just might be what he needs. It'll be interesting.
And unfortunately, he's one of the players who really hasn't gone through a real NFL offseason. First year,
that's the whole
COVID
thing.
Year.
Yeah.
Second year, ACL. Third year, last year, he was out until training camp, and he was he had training wheels on in training camp. This year might be his first real year of full action from April itself or from May itself.
If he could actually do that, and if he could get into the one-on-one drills and compete and just have a full offseason, I think he could be a good player. He just hasn't done it yet. He hasn't been able to do it yet. And again, the Niners don't have to push him this year. They can go as slow as he needs to go. There's no pressure on him to start, and just take it easy.
Yeah,
no setbacks. No setbacks.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so Javon Kinlaw, obviously, he's a guy, defensive tackle. 49ers, they liked him. First-round pick.